Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta called it emotionally tough, and it's easy to see why. 10 minutes from a place in the Carabao Cup semi-finals, the Gunners were cruising toward the finish line at the Emirates Stadium. 5 minutes into stoppage time, Crystal Palace ripped that certainty away. And then, after 15 flawless penalties in a shootout that seemed like it might never end, Arsenal finally found the one moment that mattered most. Arsenal advanced after a 1-1 draw was settled 8-7 on penalties, with goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga diving right to deny Maxence Lacroix, the same Palace defender whose own goal had initially put Arsenal ahead late in normal time. For long stretches, this felt like a tie Arsenal were determined to win comfortably, and simply couldn't. Arteta's side created enough first-half chances for the contest to be effectively over by halftime, but Palace's number 2 goalkeeper Walter Benitez produced a string of saves to keep the score level at the break. That missed opportunity became the thread running through Arsenal's night. They controlled proceedings and generated openings, but the advantage on the scoreboard refused to arrive until the closing stages, leaving the door ajar for the kind of late twist cup football loves. Arsenal finally found daylight with 10 minutes left, and it came from the sort of scrambled defenders replay in their heads for days. Bukayo Saka's corner was knotted down by Ricardo Calafiori. William Saliba attacked the loose ball, and amid the confusion, Lacroix inadvertently diverted it into his own net. At 1-0, it looked like the story had been written. Arsenal's pressure eventually told. Palace's resistance cracked, and the home side would manage the last few minutes into the semi-finals. But Palace weren't finished. Deep into stoppage time, in the 5th minute, they struck from a set piece of their own. Jefferson Lerma rose at the corner to nod the ball down, and Captain Mark Guéhi reacted quickest to sweep it in, squeezing the finish between Kepa's legs. ESPN noted it was Palace's first shot on target. In an instant, Arsenal's late lead was erased, and the Emirates shifted from celebration to disbelief. Arteta later said the equalizer was emotionally tough to accept, precisely because Arsenal felt the margins should have been larger given the chances they created. If the equalizer was a gut punch, what followed required something different: composure under maximum pressure. The shootout became a test of nerve, with the first 15 penalties all converted. Eventually, it circled back to Lacroix, unlucky again, and this time Arsenal had the final word. Kepa guessed right, dove to his right, and saved the penalty that sent Arsenal through. Arteta singled out his goalkeeper's decisive contribution afterward, saying he was very happy for Kepa making the last save. Even in victory, Arteta's comments carried a warning. He praised the energy and quality his side showed, but stressed Arsenal must be more clinical when they want to win trophies, because leaving opponents alive invites exactly the kind of late punishment Palace delivered from a set piece. It was also another reminder that cup ties don't reward dominance, they reward finishing. Arsenal had enough control to win without drama, but instead needed calm heads and perfect execution from the spot to avoid a painful exit. The win made it 4 straight victories for Arsenal, who will face Chelsea in the Carabao Cup semi-finals in January. For Palace, the night was a mix of frustration and encouragement, outplayed for long periods, yet resilient enough to force penalties with a single on-target effort when it mattered most. They also left with a notable injury concern, as defender Chris Richards was taken off on a stretcher with a cut that required stitches, according to manager Oliver Glasner. In the end, Arsenal survived, not because they avoided chaos, but because when chaos arrived, they held their nerve longer than Palace did.